Hello guys, this is an update video to my Shieldwall Tactician build. As you can see, the idea is so bright you can barely look at it. So far I've made it to level 87, as you can see, and the build is quite tanky, let me tell you. I'll take it! I can tank. It's been quite tanky during the campaign, but once I got to the maps and I got some of the better items, this build rarely dies, okay? It dies very, very rarely. Yeah, I think I'm pretty tanky. There's still a lot of room for improvement, but at this point, when I'm fully stacked with all the buffs, I go up to 47,000 armor, which is quite a lot, let's be real. We also have 27% chance to block, you know, sometimes it works. And I think the chance to deflect when I'm fully stacked is somewhere around 50%, so it's quite decent chance. I've been running T15 maps for a moment now, and I was even able to beat T1 Breachlord. Just take a look. I was intentionally trying to get hit by everything possible to test my tankiness. Sadly, I did not get hit by the squash hand from the sky, because I ended up stunning him in the middle of the animation, so unlucky that we didn't find out if I can tank it or not. Well, that was ridiculously easy. The general mechanic of the build is that we put down the shield wall and then we hit it with the shield charge to detonate it. And we also use the new fortifying cry. It was also able to destroy the shield and it empowers the shield attacks. It's very useful because it can also destroy the shield wall. And sometimes there's just not enough room to use the shield charge, so it's good to just have this remote chance to just hit it from range. It also gives us a little bit of a guard, depending on the power of the Warcry, so it can help you block few hits. And now the funniest part of this build is the auras. We have a lot of auras activated. We use both banners for armor and for damage. I have Time of Need, although it's not exactly that important, but I guess it's nice when it just activates from time to time and remove the curse if you end up getting hit by one on the map. Overwhelming Presence, so we can just stun enemies easier. Iron Ward is actually really strong. The burst damage of this ability is huge. And on the bright side, it's also capable of destroying the shield wall, so sometimes when you have something very tanky, let's say you open 5 essences at once, right? You can just put the shield wall and instantly explode it with fully stacked Iron Ward and most of the essences just die. Of course, very important, scavenge plating, so we can get more armor, which is also why we break armor and instantly remove the break armor, but I will explain it later. And the secret wildcard, charge regulation, so we can have even more armor, because generating endurance charges is actually kinda easy these days. As you can see, armor break 3 is pretty decent at breaking armor, but it also gives you 20% chance to get endurance charge when you break someone. The setup for shield charge is very simple, we just make it activate as fast as possible, generate rage, and also remove broken armor so we can break armor over and over again. Because when you break the armor, the scavenge plating is only lasting for 10 seconds, so thanks to that we can remove the broken armor and then just constantly reapply it so we can get back the scavenge plating so we can keep the high armor at all times during the longer fights. On the shield wall we have heavy swing for more damage, close combat for more damage, armor break to break armor, and heft for more damage. I still didn't drop a single perfect jeweler orb, but if I was to put something in here, it's one of the new support gems, and I would be using for that the Atuli Bloodletting. With that in place, I think I would be able to get up to maybe like 250, maybe 300 life cost on my shield wall. So as you can see, that would be kind of like 50 to 60% of damage as extra physical damage. Quite a big buff. I'm looking forward to buy it, but it's kind of expensive. For the banners, we have extended duration. On the tanky one, we also get refraction, so we get even more armor applying to elemental damage, because, you know, this is more of like oh shit type of banner when we are about to tank some big hit. And now the funny thing that happens because of the new changes to support gems, there's Vitality 1 and Vitality 2, and you can have both of them at the same time for 3% of maximum life regen. And that's pretty big deal, as long as you can of course sustain the cost. I also have both herbalisms, so I have 80% increase regeneration of health from potions. I have all 3 support gems that give me less duration of ignite, shock and freeze on me, just to keep myself more safe. And there is also Iron Ward. It hits very hard, so I decided it's pretty smart to put guaranteed bleed on it, because it's also extra damage then. And Hourglass for more damage, because cooldown doesn't matter. You need to wait to stack it up anyway before you use it, so there's just really no downside to it. And you might be asking me, but how does he have so many auras at the same time? And let me tell you, it's a combination of 2 things. Using a scepter, in the future it's gonna be Palm of the Dreamer, but for now I have this, which I failed to make into the Dreamer. But it's a good one, because it still gives us more damage, it gives us strength, so more health, and also it summons the meteors. And it looks cool. It also helps you a bit with capping resistance in this case. In the future it would be Chaos Res, but now it's just Fire Res. And it gives us 100 Spirit. So now we have 200 Spirit pretty much. And now that's where the Ascendancy comes into play. Because a solid plan makes all of your persistent buffs cost only half. And the small note here also gives you 8% more, so you end up at 216. So if those things together with this means we have pretty much 432 spirit to use for all the buffs. As you can see, I still have 30 left, so I could try to do something still. I'm also going for the banner ascendancy, so I can place both of my banners at the same time. And also, since they always generate glory, then you don't have to worry about the glory dropping over the time when you're out of combat. Plus, it makes them be up most of the time. On the right side, we're having this, so we get deflection rating based off armor. It's pretty nice, as I said, like when I'm fully stacked, there's probably something around 40-50% chance to deflect 40% of damage, so it's quite a decent reduction. Originally I was planning to use Stay Light, but because of the display bug, it wouldn't show me the maximum physical damage reduction is 50%. So I went in fully clueless that it's here, and now that I see that it's here, and now defending with 200% armor doesn't seem that good anymore, unless maybe against elemental damage, right? It might be useful against pinnacle bosses, maybe. I don't know how hard they hit, I don't know if I can get to 50% physical damage reduction without this node, but I will have to find out. But if we don't end up taking this, then we can go for suppressing fire, and we have 40% more immobilization buildup. Because we heavy stun quite a lot with the Shieldwall combo. So that's how it looks in terms of ascendancy. The tree doesn't really have anything special in it, it's just like your average nodes, you know. What I can tell you is that we're running blood magic, because dealing with mana is annoying. We have fast metabolism, so the life leech doesn't run out when we are at full HP. That's very important at keeping us alive. And I'm also running this cluster here to make life leech slower, because we don't have as much attack speed on this build. So it's good that the health keeps coming in after a swing for a while. Of course, I'll link the tree in Path of Building, so don't you worry about the details. And now we can talk quickly about the items. You could already see the Palm of the Heart. We are looking for a body armor that will have as much armor as possible, because body armor is like a very good source of armor, and there are also nodes that specifically multiply body armor. We also really want to have a lot of armor on shield, because that's what scales the damage of the shield wall. Because the more armor you have on the shield, the more extra damage will be added to the attack. As you can see, 6 to 8 added physical damage per 15 armor, right? I think like endgame shield can possibly get to 1500, so you can imagine it's like extra 600 to 800 physical damage, right? But yeah, my shield is pretty bad. I actually cooked it today. And to make sure that you have enough health on this build to tank everything, make sure that you focus on having a lot of health on boots, on gloves, on rings, on belt, on helmet, you know what I mean? Every other piece that isn't body armor and shield, mainly focus on health plus armor as a secondary. Also very important that you get life leech on your rings, because I don't think there's any other way to get life leech here. You could have it on gloves, but it's gonna be hard to mix it in with other things that you need there, like for example +2 levels to melee skills. So it's probably gonna be easier on rings. For the amulet, just look for melee skills, look for health, and look for armor. And obviously I don't think I have to say it, but remember to try to cap your resistances as well. With my current setup I have like above 100% of armor that applies to elemental damage, but if you get to 100% I think it's gonna be good enough. And that's pretty much the explanation of the entire build. There's a lot of things to upgrade, but so far I really liked it. If you are looking for some tanky armor build, feel free to give it a go and tell me how you liked it. Maybe do something similar but without the shield charge, because it's kinda slow. But that would be it. Thanks for watching, leave a like, leave a sub, and see you in the next one.